Hey Liverpool fans, have you seen the latest release? At AnfieldIndex, we've teamed up with LiverpoolFC to announce that the brand new 24-25 LFC Nike home kit and anthem jacket are out now, and they're hotter than ever. The brand new kit pays homage to the legendary Rome 1984 side, featuring sleek pinstripe detailing that brings a touch of history to our modern game. Whether you're cheering from the Kop or watching from home, you'll feel the spirit of the Reds coursing through every stitch. The best part? You can grab yours today. The new kit and training range are available in official stores, online, and through the LFC store app. Don't wait, order now and be ready to show your Liverpool pride in style. Get your hands on the new 24-25 LFC home kit and anthem jacket today. Let's make this season unforgettable. You'll never walk alone.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
I'm Alex Rodriguez.
And I'm Jason Kelly.
From Bloomberg, this is The Deal. Each week, you'll hear us in conversation with business icons.
This show will explore deal-making across sports, media, and entertainment.
That is a harsh lesson in business.
Sports is not as simple as bringing a bunch of big names together.
I didn't want to do another stomp you out speech.
It opened up so many more doors.
The show is called The Deal.
Listen to The Deal.
Listen to The Deal on Spotify.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC on a Thursday as we approach the end of Jurgen Klopp's time at Liverpool Football Club. Plans are being unveiled for what will take place after the game against Wolves on Sunday. And right now it looks like this is what will happen. The players will do a lap of honour without their families straight after the game. And while that's taking place, a stage will be set up in the middle of the pitch. Players will then give a guard of honour to the staff. The staff will go up on the stage and there will be a presentation. Jurgen will then give a speech, and then the players and their families will do a final lap of honour once Jurgen has finished his speech. So that will be immediately after the game on Sunday. So if you are going, just remember not to nip off early to beat the traffic, because there's stuff taking place afterwards. My assumption is that the trophies won during Jurgen's time at the club will be brought up, so that, you know, the visual is there of the success that he's brought to the club. And, I hope that's the case anyway. I hope they're brought up because it's worth reminding everybody, you know, league title, Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, 2 League Cups, European Super Cup and World Club Cup. Worth reminding people that it's not just one, it's not just 2. There's been a lot of trophies brought home while Jurgen has been manager. Obviously, Wolves are an interesting last opponent. We've played them quite a bit in some memorable games under Jurgen. They are having a decent season, to be fair, under Gary O'Neill. They're 13th in the league. They're in poor form. They're ending the season poorly, which is something that happened with O'Neill last year at Bournemouth as well. Bournemouth ended last season quite poorly under his watch. 4 defeats in their last 5. But if we go back, we can take a look at Jurgen's games against them since joining Liverpool. Now, in 15-16, when Jurgen took over, we didn't play them at all. They were scratching away in the Championship as a mid-table team. In 16-17, once again, they were a mid-table Championship team, but we did play them in the FA Cup. This is back when Jurgen wasn't taking the FA Cup all that seriously. We had needed a replay to beat Plymouth, having drawn with them at Anfield. We went to Plymouth and beat them 1-0 at home park. And then we played Wolves. We played them at Anfield. They went 1-up. Richard Stearman scored in the first minute. Andreas Weimann, who has played for a bunch of different clubs, including Aston Villa most notably, Bristol City most recently, spell at Derby in between, and he had a bunch of different loans. He was on loan from Derby to Wolves when he scored that goal. Divock Origi scored in the 86th minute to pull one back for us, but it wasn't to be, and out of the FA Cup we went. 17-18, again, we didn't play them in the league. They did romp their way through the Championship that year. We didn't meet them in either cup. But 18-19, they were in the Premier League. And we faced them, obviously, twice. The first time was the 21st of December. We went to Molineux. Mo scored after 18 minutes, and then Virgil wrapped it up on 68. And then we played them on the final day of the season. A 2-0 win again, both goals by Sadio. That was a day when we were sat hoping Manchester City would slip up and that win over Wolves might win us a Premier League title. We'd also played them in the January in the FA Cup. Raul Jimenez put them 1-0 up. Divock equalised again. And then Ruben Neves scored the winner. Really good goal, that one, on 55 minutes, and out of the cup we went. But obviously, we would have the last laugh on that season, winning the European Cup. The following season, 1920, the year in which we ran away with the Premier League, we played them at Anfield on the 29th of December, and a 1-0 win with a goal from Sadio Mane was enough. We played them again 3 weeks later, and this time it was a 2-1 Liverpool win. Henderson opened the scoring. Jimenez equalised, but Bobby Firmino in the 84th minute gave us the win. We again did not meet them in the Cups that year. 2021, a year a lot of us would rather forget. COVID locked us all down. Injuries ruined our season. But we did beat Wolves 4-0 on the 6th of December at Anfield. Salah, Wijnaldum, Joel Matip, and a Nelson Semedo own goal, giving us a very comfortable win. On the 15th of March, we went to Molineux, and Diogo Jota scored against his former club. 21-22. Actually, did we play them in the Cups that year? I don't think we did. No, we did not. 21-22. We played them at Molineux on the 4th of December. A very, very tight, frustrating game that Divock Origi won for us in the 94th minute. Crunch time Div coming through once again. And once again, we were sat at home or sat at Anfield, wherever you were on the day, sat in a pub, sat on a beach, wherever you were, hoping that Manchester City would slip up. And we all remember Villa going 2-0 up. Neto had put Wolves 1-0 up at Anfield. Sadio equalised on 24. Villa were 2-0 up. And when Mo scored on 84 to put us 2-1 up, I think the players thought that had put us top of the table, but obviously City had had pulled that back, and we're now winning. Andy Robertson scored on 89, but it was all academic in the end. Didn't play them in either of the cups that season. Last year, then, we played them on the 4th of February, and they absolutely battered us. They beat us 3-0 at Molineux. Joel Matip own goal, Craig Dawson, and then Ruben Neves wrapped it up 3-0. We were horrendous last year, obviously. We played them at Anfield a month later. I assume that game, we were meant to play them the week the Queen died. So that game got rescheduled. That was meant to be in September, but it didn't get played until the 1st of March. And we beat them 2-0, sorry. Virgil and Mo, 2 quick-fire goals in the second half to give us a 2-0 win. We'd also played them in the FA Cup, and Harvey Elliott scored an absolute worldie on 13 minutes to give us a 1-0 win in that one. And then this season, we went to Molineux earlier in the season, and they absolutely tonked us for the first half of the game. They should have been 3 or 4 up. As it was, they went in 1-0 up. Hwang scored. Pedro Neto gave Joe Gomez one of the worst roastings I've ever seen. But in the second half, Cody scored to equalise, and then Andy Robertson on 85 and a Hugo Bueno own goal on 91 gave us a 3-1 win. We did not play them in the Cups this year. So Jurgen's record against Wolves is very, very good. In the league, obviously they've beaten us in the Cup a couple of times. We've only beaten them in the Cup once. In the league, the only win they have, the only time they've taken anything, was that game at Molineux last season. And the hope is, of course, that they get nothing this time around and we finish off with a strong win over Wolves at Anfield to give Jurgen his send-off and, give the crowd something to cheer. I really hope the crowd is properly up for it at the weekend. Like, the place needs to be bouncing. The Jurgen song needs to ring out as many times as possible during the course of the game. If it's the only song sung, that's absolutely fine. If it's the only song sung, that's absolutely fine. Ignore his claims or his requests not to sing it until games are over. Ignore the man. Sing it as loud as possible and give him his send-off that he deserves. What else is on This Is Anfield then? Obviously, the stuff from yesterday about Pep and Linders. There's a piece about Liverpool, Wolves and Jurgen's euphoric 8-year roller coaster ride. Liverpool launched new training kit. Some of it's quite nice. Referee confirmed for Liverpool versus Wolves, 2 picks to rile up Klopp for the final time. Oh God, that's David Coote. David Coote will be the VAR, and Chris Kavanagh will be the referee. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. FSG could buy out Everton investors to take over Brazilian clubs. So there are some rumours coming out, and reports, not just rumours, but reports coming out of Brazil that FSG are potentially in talks or eyeing up the possibility of talks to buy a 70% stake in Vasco da Gama, historic Brazilian club, obviously. Now, that stake is currently owned by 777 Partners, the club at the centre of the whole Everton takeover nonsense. They are in pretty serious financial trouble, facing quite a few lawsuits, a lot of accusations of fraud. And I wonder, could FSG look to maybe do more than the one club? Because maybe there's a package deal that they could work with this group where they buy two clubs. Because I think it would make sense to buy two, one in Europe and one in South America. And I wonder if there's a favourable deal that would work for them, where potentially they could get the two clubs at a slightly discounted price. So let's have a look. Right, the clubs that they currently own outright or part of: Vasco da Gama, obviously, Standard Liège. Now, last week, former Standard Liège owner Bruno Venanzi and the former owners of the club's Stade Maurice de France demanded the seizure of 777's assets in Belgium over alleged non-payment. Later, in a protest against 777, Standard fans blocked the team bus from leaving the training centre before a match against Westerlo, leading to the game being postponed. So potentially, Standard Liège could be a club that they might look at buying into. Now, they paid 55 million for 100% of the club in March of 2022. Maybe they just take that money for that club. Standard Liège is a big club with good infrastructure, a very good academy, a good stadium, a decent fan base, like a decent sized fan base. Got pretty good history at that club as well. 10 times Belgian champions. Champions as recently as 2008. They won back-to-back at the time. That was the team, wasn't it, with Witzel and Fellaini and Stephen Defoe and a few others in that group as well. 8-time Belgian Cup winners, last one in 2018. That could be one to look at. Standard Liège could be one that would make sense. They also own Red Star FC in France. They are in the 3rd division in France. So they're a club that you would need to build up. So maybe not as ready-made, but certainly being able to tap into that French market could be very beneficial. And obviously, as a Parisian club, Paris is probably the number one hotbed of talent in world football right now. I believe they own, they do. They own a minority stake in Melbourne Victory. So, again, could that be something that they look at? Maybe, maybe not. Is the market in Australia worth dipping into? Probably not at the moment. Hertha Berlin, that's a huge club. But the rules of German football, the 50+1 rule, might make them hesitant to do that. So that's probably one that they would swerve. They own a minority share in Sevilla. Now, because of how Sevilla is set up, it probably doesn't work for FSG to even consider. But one that might is Genoa. So they own 99.99% of Genoa. And the rumoured price when they bought the club in 2021 was 150 million. So is that something that could potentially interest them? Genoa is a big club, great fan base, good history. I mean, maybe that's something that they would have interest in. I think Standard Liège probably makes the most sense. So Standard Liège, they paid €55 million. And Vasco, they paid 700 million Brazilian real for 70%. So let's see. 700 million Brazilian real is...
I'm Alex Rodriguez.
And I'm Jason Kelly.
From Bloomberg, this is The Deal. Each week, you'll hear us in conversation with business icons.
This show will explore deal-making across sports, media, and entertainment.
That is a harsh lesson in business.
Sports is not as simple as bringing a bunch of big names together.
I didn't want to do another stomp you out speech.
It opened up so many more doors.
The show is called The Deal.
Listen to The Deal.
Listen to The Deal on Spotify.
About 110 million British pounds, but obviously they'd work in dollars. So it's about just under $140 million. So if they paid what they paid for Standard, a $200 million investment to buy both Standard Liège and the 70% of Vasco da Gama, that's something I could see them potentially looking at. That might work for everybody. The Belgian league is a hotbed of talent. It's well located to allow a base of operation for all of Europe. Don't know what the work permit rules are in Belgium, but you do look at Belgian teams and constantly see Brazilian players and players from Africa and that. So it can't be too hard. So potentially that could be the pathway that they develop, Vasco da Gama, Standard, and then Liverpool at the top of it. Just could be something interesting. We have a quiz here. So, 10 questions on Jurgen Klopp. How well do you know his Liverpool career? Let's go. Who was Jurgen Klopp's first signing at the club? Sadio Mane, Lloris Karius, Marco Grujic, or Steven Kolker? It was Marco Grujic. Which team did Klopp first face as manager? It was Tottenham away. We had a bunch of injuries, and that was a haggard-looking starting 11. How many finals did he lead us to? 5, 9, 7, or 11? 3 Champions League finals, 3 League Cup finals, FA Cup final, World Club Cup final. That's 8. I'm going to guess they count the Super Cup, so I'm going to say 9. It is 9. Who made the most appearances under Klopp? I saw this the other day. So the answers they give you are Bobby, Milner, Henderson, Salah. The answer is Bobby. I saw that on Twitter the other day. Which player scored the most goals? Sadio, Divock, Bobby, or Mo? The answer is obviously Mo. Which season saw Klopp guide Liverpool to the top of the table for the first time? 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, or 19-20? It is 16-17. Against which English club does Klopp have the most victories as Liverpool boss? So Chelsea, City, West Ham, or Tottenham? West Ham would be my guess. Feels like we always draw with Chelsea. We've lost quite a few times to City and drawn with them a bunch. So Tottenham or West Ham, they've been bad for a bunch of years. So yeah, West Ham. In his first press conference, Klopp said, "If I sit here in blank years, I'm pretty confident we will have one title. 4, 5, 6, or 2. I watched that the other day. It's 4. How many trophies has Klopp lifted at Liverpool? Champions League, Premier League, 2 League Cups, FA Cup, World Club Cup, and European Super Cup. So 7. Liverpool's unbeaten run from January 2019, unbeaten run in the league from January 2019 when we lost to City, up until February 2020, when we lost to Watford, stretched how many games? It's 44. Me and Matcha talked about it on Scouted yesterday. It's 44. So there we go. That's not a bad quiz at all. Not a bad quiz at all. Let's see. What else is there? Dominic Szoboszlai is the first Liverpool player confirmed for Euro 2024. Liverpool release special Jurgen Klopp tribute matchday program. Okay. That's all that's on This Is Anfield, so we'll check out liverpool.com. Hopefully some new hopes and dreams. More details of the plans for the final game. Ex-refs chief says Jurgen Klopp right on crazy call that cost Liverpool. Some laws are nonsense. Okay. Luis Diaz could hand Liverpool a transfer dilemma. There's no dilemma, just sell him. Simple as that. Liverpool must back Wolves to the hilt. It's time for the Premier League to ditch VAR. No, I just don't agree. Arne Slot plays down Liverpool pressure as announcement of Jurgen Klopp's successor edges closer. I think he said that it was pressured Feyenoord, so he's kind of used to it. Liverpool told special Anthony Gordon transfer adds up as Mohamed Salah message sent. Pat Nevin says that he's special. He's got 12 goals and 10 assists in 51 appearances for Newcastle. I think it's actually... No, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's 13 goals. He scored last night. It's 13 goals, and I believe it's 11 assists. In his career, he has 20 goals in 151 games. 20 goals in 151 games. And he has 19 assists. And he has 27 yellow cards. So, no thank you. If he was available for like 30 and add-ons to 40, 35 and add-ons to 40, basically what Newcastle paid for him. Yeah, fine. He's now worth what Newcastle paid. But like Harvey Barnes was putting up these numbers at Leicester, and nobody was saying Liverpool should spend 80 million on him. And certainly nobody should be listening to Pat Nevin. Manchester United prepares 69 million transfer offer, while Aston Villa eyes former Liverpool transfer target. We'll come back to that. I played for Liverpool, and it will be absolutely bonkers to sanction transfer for 108 million star. We'll come to that. Liverpool denied Jurgen Klopp request to keep duo with Anfield. There was a report yesterday from Paul Joyce that Jurgen wanted to give Joel Matip a new contract, that Jurgen last summer tried to keep both Milner and Bobby. And frankly, this is why I think the time is right for him to leave. I mean, if you've watched a single game that either of them have played this season, they're both so far beyond washed, it's not funny. They were both kept at Liverpool years too long. Bobby, probably 2 years too long. Milner, probably, 8 years too long. He wanted to keep Henderson. He wanted to keep Fabinho. It's just a nonsense. Harry Kane names former Liverpool star as the most underrated player he's played with. Okay. Let's see. So Glenn Johnson says Liverpool would be absolutely bonkers to sell Darwin Núñez. We might have to sell him, so we might just have to sell him. Meh. Right, United apparently are eyeing up a bid for Jared Brantwaite, and Villa are looking at Gabri Veiga, who decided to take the money last summer. When he had options to move to European clubs, he decided to jump on the money and go to Saudi. So I would say pass on him for everybody involved. Liverpool reignite interest in Brazilian midfielder. Well, this is by Steve Kay, who's an enormous spoofer, an absolutely enormous spoofer. He says we're looking at Joe Gomes of Wolves. He wouldn't make any sense for us at all, really, this summer. Liverpool transfer Jurgensen, Patterson, and the goalkeepers linked with a summer move. This is on Anfield Watch. Curtis Jones and his partner have announced that they're expecting their first child. Liverpool legend targeted a Saudi Pro League side Al Qadsiya plot ambitious raid. That is a picture of Sadio Mane. So Al Nazir is who Sadio plays for at the moment. Currently earning a reported £650,000 a week. And Al Qadsiya, who are owned by Saudi Aramco, the oil company, they're apparently about to spend some big money. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one if Sadio makes a move. Let's see. Liverpool are set for a major overhaul in the goalkeeping department this summer. Yeah, number 2 and number 3 almost. Well, number 3 is definitely leaving, and Adrian. We've been linked to Alex McCarthy. I think that one makes sense as a number 3. Queven Kelleher likely to leave as well. I wonder, is Yaros ready? I don't know. He's obviously having a brilliant run with Sturm Graz. He was really good with St. Pat's Athletic when he was playing here in Ireland, but it's at a much lower level. So a couple of names that have been suggested here. Philippe Jorgensen of Villarreal does look very, very talented. 22 years of age. So obviously there with Pepe Reina. He's had a weird career. He's been at a bunch of different clubs already as a young player, but seems to have settled at Villarreal the last 6 or 7 years in their academy, and then once getting into the senior team. So he's one name that's mentioned here. Anthony Patterson is mentioned here. James Trafford. McCarthy, like I say, he'd be more a third keeper. I have my own list. Other young goalkeepers that might be worth a bit of a look. Marcin Bulka of Nice could be a good backup. Could develop into a starter. Matvey Savinov of Krasnodar. He's super talented. Would he leave Russia? I don't know. Noah Atabolu of Freiburg. He's one to keep an eye on. Really, really talented. Guilherme Restes, we played against this year for Toulouse. I was very impressed by him. I've been impressed anytime I've watched him, so I've got him on my list. And Lucas Chevalier of Lille. Now, I don't think he'd move to be a backup, but I have him on the list anyway because he's worth keeping an eye on. One guy who would have been an absolute, I think, surefire move for us this summer is Martin van der Voort of Genk, but he is moving to Leipzig, a deal that Leipzig did like 2 years ago. He'll join Leipzig this summer. Super talented. Keep an eye out for him. Him and Bart Verbruggen, for me, are probably the 2 best young keepers out there. Anatoly Trubin's another really good one. He went to Benfica last year. On to AnfieldIndex.com. There's me saying Pep and Linders must win the Austrian Bundesliga, which he absolutely must. He will be fired if he doesn't. There's a piece about that Paul Joyce article, a piece about Joel Matip, a piece about my good friend Fabrizio Romano, social media influencer extraordinaire, what he's had to say about the Darwin situation. And Ben Poscott has a good piece up about Manuel Ugarte, the Uruguayan ball winner who's at PSG. And by all accounts, PSG are open to selling him this summer. If they really are interested in Luis Diaz, then maybe Ugarte and cash is a deal that works. Maybe there's another player there that we would like. I really like Nuno Mendes, but they won't let him go. But Ugarte would be a really good get for us. Him and Alexis in midfield, I think that's, in a double pivot, that's going to be really good. I know people will wank themselves silly about first phase build-up. When you have Trent, you have less need for that first phase midfield player. Trent takes care of that. So Ugarte, all he needs to do is win the ball and give it to the lads that can play. He's not bad on the ball anyway. Like, he's a solid passer of the ball, short and medium range. It's only when he gets overly excited and starts to try and spray the ball around that things go a little bit haywire, but that's easily coached out of him. Podcast-wise, we have quite a few new ones. If you haven't listened to the latest Stat Me Up, make sure that you do. The latest Under Pressure is out. Make sure you give that a listen. And then the first 2 episodes of Auf Wiedersehen Klopp are out. So episode 1 is Nina talking to Eddie and Gags and going over their memories of Jurgen's time at Anfield. Episode 2 is basically Scouted. It's me and Carl, and we go over all the different questions about Klopp. I have been misquoted, I note, in something that was put out on social media this morning. I did not say that his connection with the fans was overblown. I said that the idea of a connection with the fans is overblown. You don't need to connect on the human level to connect with the fans. You can connect with them by winning. If you're at this club and you win, people will adore you. That's just how it is. But that's by the by. Lots more to come this week on Anfield Index. So do make sure you're listening. Do make sure you're subscribed to AI Pro. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at AnfieldIndex and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
Sports Social Podcast Network.